wá sáyé mo ṣe wọ́n.
Ó yá akéde mo fẹ́ délé bàbá tó bí lọ́mọ.
Ọmọ ọba ni
Bàbá mi ò gbànígbà ní ojú ọ̀nà ó ṣe gbọ́n. Òsán gírí la gírí, ọ̀la gírí kàkà. Àtọ́gbọ́n arẹ́rẹ́ o. Bàbá mi ò wọ kẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ jíjọ. Jagunmọ́ lòdì ọ̀rọ̀, apálá ti jó tọ̀hún tọ̀hún.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of our MCTNAIJA-TechUSERGROUP. I hope you guys had a lovely weekend and you're happy to join this session. So I'm just going to bring our host for this session, as you already know, Sir Shehi. Hello, Shehi. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing well. Doing well. It's a wonderful weekend. I can't complain. So I'm hoping that you're also having a very great weekend.
Yeah, sure. We also have a co-host, which are in our blogs. Olana should join us also soon.
Hello, Olana. How you doing?
Hello. Oh, hi. Sorry, I was muted. Hi.
Oh, yeah. No,
great to be back here again.
That was
definitely
It's always
weekend.
Yeah, it's been going great.
Yeah.
It's been good so far. So I'm sure it's about to get better.
Yeah, definitely. Sunday is always better in church, right?
Yeah. So we get right to our deck now so that we can start off to introduce our guests. So David,
Okay.
Kofi, can you help us with the slide?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to bring it up. All right, so just going to our guests, but before we do that, I just want to play a few of the music you hear earlier. Hope you enjoy. Just one moment. Right. So I'm just going to bring our guests for today. So our host for today, as you already know, we got Sir Shehi and David. Couldn't join us today, but you already know Sir David. So I just move on to myself, Kofi Ade, also one of the hosts for today. And I'm glad that you're going to enjoy this session. And we have our lady Olana as well. Now let's bring out the guests. All right. So for the first guest that we have is Amo Odaye. He's one of the greatest guys that you might have seen. He's very passionate about Azure and also IoT. So I will pass it on to Sir Shehi to do the honorable introduction. Yeah, I think Shehi is currently having some issues with his session. So I'm just going to bring out a moment.
Okay, so I believe she is currently having some network glitch.
Yeah.
But of course, one of our guests is Samuel. Samuel is like one of my favorite people. I met Samuel sometime, I think in 2019 during the MCT Tech Summit. And there I got to learn so much about IoT and a lot that we can achieve from that, right? Samuel is going to be here. He'll talk to us about great things that he has achieved so far from the last time we spoke. And I am super excited about this. Hi,
Yeah,
Samuel.
Rolanda, thank
Great,
you.
great to
Hi,
have you
thank
here.
you. It's awesome. It's awesome to to meet again. I was like, I when I saw, I was like, is that Rolanda? I'm not sure because I was like, she's changed. I wasn't too sure. I was like, okay. Sam, don't compromise yourself. Just wait for introduction. But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, we
it's
do we
been
do we
long.
do everything virtually now, and not all of us
Yeah,
get to share our videos. So it's been a while. We
yeah,
kind of like
yeah,
saw personally. Great to
yeah,
have you here,
yeah.
Summer. I was excited when I saw that you're one of our hosts, and yeah, I couldn't just
Thank you
wait.
for having me. Yeah, awesome. It's
All
an
right,
awesome
thank
time.
you.
Let's have some fun.
Yes, of course, definitely. Okay. Hi, Kofi. Can we have our next guest? Right. So our next guest is Bernard. Right. So I get excited when I meet people who are in data, who are in analytics, who are doing so much with financial modeling. And then Bernard is one of those guys, and I'm excited to have him here. So outside this event, that Bernard, of course, I am going to totally be reaching out to you because you're doing a lot that I am interested in personally, and I'm sure our guests too are super excited because we've gotten a whole lot of guys that are out there getting to learning to get into data analytics BI because they say data is a new oil, right? So Bernard, we're going to be tapping into your great intellect after today. So you're welcome, and we're happy to have you here. Oh, I don't see Bernard coming up.
I think it's still in the lobby. There you
Hi,
are.
everyone. Good
Hi,
to be here.
Bernard. So I think he's here.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah,
So
great
I'm
to
happy
have
to be
you.
here. Yes, and I'm very glad to have the opportunity to share the knowledge, financial modeling and analytics. Well, Samuel is just close by. I think I'll meet him at church tomorrow. But here, we'll keep it that virtual.
Oh, great. So let's have our next guest. So I'm excited. I'm sure we're going to have more conversations after now. Okay. So our next guest is Ayo Adesokon. So in fact, I've not met Ayo before now, but when I saw his profile, I was pretty interested in all of the exciting things that he's been doing up until now and how he has taken tech, across the world, going from going from across different locations, teaching people about tech, getting to, bring people on board. We have lots of questions for Daniel. We want to know how he does the things he does, how he gets to impact people, doing what he does, right? You're great to have you here. Oh, hi, Ayo. My bad. You're
Can,
muted.
can everybody hear me?
Yes, yes, you can hear now.
Okay, awesome, awesome. I'm very happy to be here today, and thanks for the welcome. It's my pleasure. Yeah, it's I'm looking forward to engaging with a number of people, including everybody that I haven't met. Interestingly, I'm the only non-MVP here today, so I'm happy
No,
to
we're
have
in this together. No worries.
spoken with everybody. Yeah, so thank you.
All right, great to have you, Ayo. So we have four guests today. So we've met Ayo, we have met Samuel, of course, our last guest for today. I've met Ayo. I think our next speaker here will be Oladimeji. So Oladimeji is also someone that I'm excited to meet because he's also part of our data guys. Like I get pretty excited. So Oladimeji is an IT professional and he has worked across project management, database administration. When I say anything database, I get excited. Please pardon me. And he does a lot of BI as well. So we're going to be talking to him today as well. He would take us through his journey, how he got to where he is today, how from being a developer to an accomplished IT manager and to all of the fun stuff that he's done so far. So Oladimeji, a word from you before we proceed.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. My profile, I can't explain or like bring everything together under one umbrella of IT because
Mhm.
um this is a one hidden star that I hardly bring out myself. So I can just put the little that I can put on my profile up, the little that I can put up. That's the little.
Okay, so today I'm sure we're going to be hearing the story of yours and all of the things that you've been hiding
Oh.
from your profile.
You can say that again.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hi, David, are you still there? So, of course, we've introduced our guests. We expect that all of our audience will send in all the questions they have for our guests. We've seen their profile, we've seen all of the amazing things that they have achieved in tech from when they started up until today. From Samuel, he's into AI and IoT, all of what he has done so far. You can quickly even just look them up. I'm sure most of us has done that before now, but just in case you have not, quickly look up our guests and come with all of the questions that you've thought about asking them. To Bernard and Ayo, all of our guests, we're going to be asking them series of questions, and let's just have fun, please. So let's get to it, of course. So this first question, we're going to have all our guests respond to this because we're really interested in your story. There are a lot of newbies out there that want to get into technology. There are a lot of people who are confused what to do with themselves or which area to get into. So I truly, truly believe that listening to your story, how you started and how you got to where you are today, is going to inspire tons of our listeners out there. So I don't know, Samuel, do you want to go first, please? Really interested in your story and want to hear all about it, how you got into AI, IoT, how you got to achieve all the I've seen a couple of things that you have developed, but I'm sure there are a whole lot more. So
Yeah,
please, let's hear your
yeah.
story.
Yeah, thank you, Alana. It's quite interesting how I got into technology, but I believe that for me, most times I tell people I believe my fate was decided very very early. So for those that really know me, they realize that they would have known that I started tech when I was very young. Like I think I was in primary four when I started writing my first programs and stuff like that. That was quite early, but the story behind how I got into technology was a bit was a bit funny. So I was born and raised in a joint forces barracks. So you have a military barracks on one side, you have a police barracks on one side. Now in the police barracks where I was born, it was actually the national workshop for the Ghana Police Service. So that meant that they had their mechanics, electricians, pretty much was a place where they had all their craftsmen. So you would grow up having to see a lot of broken down police vehicles with parts, hanging around and stuff like that. So I would go take some of these parts, for play, connect circuit, just like, normal boy stuff, breaking my father's radios, and things like that. But the turning point was my father was into sports. He was a volleyball coach. They had gone to play club championship, I think, if not in Italy, one of the, countries, and he was a master tactician when it came to volleyball. But when he was playing his opponent that day, he won the first two sets and lost the rest, which means he lost the whole game. Now, for those that follow volleyball, you know that there is a side out sheet that coaches used to mark when the players side out and stuff like that. Unknowing to him, whilst he was using the paper to do the siding out and to record his play, the opponent was using a computer. He didn't know it was a computer then. All he saw was a TV, something that looked like a TV with some keyboard or typewriter, as he said it, and they were just entering things. So out of curiosity, he actually approached the opponent. I was like, "Hey, nice game, but I'm curious to know what is that thing." And that's when he was told, "Oh, that's a computer." So whilst you were busily using paper to draw your, like, write out your statistics, we actually were feeding your play into the computer. So after the first two sets, their coach was able to tell, by thanks to the computer, his style of play, his heavy hitters, his blockers, and all that. So pretty much they could read his style of play after the first two sets using the computer. So that's how they won. It's like, oh, interesting. So fast forward, as he got to Ghana, our school then I had also started computer classes, and I was just excited. I was just drawn to it. So immediately I was like, "Hey, Daddy, they've started computer classes in school, and I want to learn." I was like, "Computers? What computers has done to me? Go learn it." So for me, it was like fate meeting the right time, because at that time, learning computers was sought to be for people of high class or people with um affluence. All right, I'm coming from a very very basic low family. So for him to understand the value of computers related to his passion, which was sports, it was easy for him to give me the nod and to push me to go do it. Unlike then, where our parents didn't know anything. It was more engineering, medicine, the known things. But because he had a personal encounter with computers and how it directly affected his line of work, I got that backing. And since then, it's just been computers all my life. I've just been into it. And if you've known me for a while now, you realize that I like to learn new things, and I like to also share. So that's how come I got into technology. The rest, I'm sure, in the course of today's session, I'll bring some of them out as well. So that's how I get into tech.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I do have questions of my own, but just because Afiz has a question he wanted to ask you, maybe we'll just jump into Afiz's question. So Afiz dropped a question in the chat, and he said,
Yeah.
please tell us how you started with IoT, especially in Nigeria where electricity is not guaranteed, right? So he's concerned about, areas or locales where electricity is not guaranteed. So how do I manage that?
Yeah, Mafis, that's a very interesting question. So my background traditionally was computer science, pretty much no electronics, no hardware. Somewhere in 2010, 2011, that is when I got my first kind of like touch to IoT. I think at that point I was tired with software, or just writing software, running on phones, running on computer. I had got to the point I was like, I wanted to do more. And that's when I got connected to physical computing then. So it was I think it was one night I was just looking for stuff online, and I chanced upon something called Arduino. And I was like, this is crazy. Like I can actually write the same software that I know how to write to control physical things around me. That is what I wanted to do. And I think I had gotten to this point because of one of my cousins. He was into performing arts, and he was always pushing me some. What can we use computers to do in the performing arts? Can we do sound effects? So I was always looking for an opportunity to actually apply my computer skills to things not necessarily people would think that computers were viable. So in 2011, when I got that IoT, that Arduino experience, I was watching YouTube videos all night. I was like, this is crazy. So Friday night when I closed from work, I rushed to something called Radio Shack in the US. Is one of these electronic stores where you can just walk in and buy parts and stuff like that. So I just bought Arduino and a few sensor kits, and within the over the weekend, I was able to pretty much program it, 10 lights on. I was like, this is crazy. So I just started to think of the extra things, and that's when I really fell in love with IoT. And since then, I've just been doing it. Stop questioning about electricity and how you get into it. I know coming back to Ghana after some many years in the US, one of the challenges, and I think one of the reasons, one of the things I miss back in the States is accessibility to these devices. Because sometimes you want, you've seen something IoT, you want to get it, it takes forever, or you don't even have it. That is a known challenge. That is a known challenge. However, I think in the past couple of months, or probably a year or two, it's getting better, because sites like Siege Studio, and there are some local people that are actually carrying some of these IoT devices. I think there was one coming up, Geek Store coming up in Nigeria, and there's some other ones where you can get some of these devices. Technically, for IoT, the good thing about IoT is that most of the things you want to do, you can actually either use simulators, or most of the IoT devices are low powered. So all you probably need is your how do you call it? You just maybe a power bank, or a very light, a small lipo battery, and then you can pretty much do it. That's the good thing about it, because the concept of IoT is trying to to do physical computing with the least power consumption as possible. So today I can connect a bunch of sensors to it, and then all is running on battery, not necessarily electricity. So electricity should not be, how do you call it, a blocker to getting into IoT. I know the hardest part has been hardware and equipment. However, over time that is changing. I can, like for instance, if you ordered something from Seed Studio, maximum by 2 weeks you will get it shipped down to you here in Ghana. And Ghana and Nigeria is pretty much, the same. So I perceive that if you did that now, within 2 weeks, you probably would get your device from Seed Studio. So that's how I got into it, and that's how I would encourage him not to be blocked or
Okay.
serious predictions with electricity. Yeah.
All right, of
Okay.
course. I think there you get your response, right. It doesn't consume so much electricity, so you could do what you need to do with as little as a power bank, right? And you can run a lot of sensors. So thank you so much, Samuel. Yes, but we do have another question. Maybe I'll just keep my questions until when I get to meet you out offline, right? So we do have another question.
Yeah.
Quickly, please. We're going to
Yeah.
take down this question because this
Yeah.
is also something I have always wondered about myself because I know a guy also here that a friend of mine does IoT, and I've always seen him as somewhat in between data science and IoT because he does a lot of machine learning, right? So that guy is also concerned, just like myself. What's the relationship between data science and IoT? How can we marry those two together?
So one thing I say is that IoT is everywhere. IoT combines everything. And I'll give you an example with that. I mean, all the way from the physical device itself to the data to storing it. Now, this is how IoT is connected to data science. The concept of IoT is for you to be able to interact or get information from physical devices. So let's say, for instance, you are running a smart farm, or even let's say an assembly plant, a factory line, right? I'll use beer because I love my beer. So let's say a brewery, all right? They have an assembly plant where beer is being produced. They have all these sensors, they have all these devices, timing belts, and all that running. All right. With IoT, you're getting all this information. They have this mixing silos. They mix barley and stuff in it. It has to be at a certain temperature. It has to be with a certain humidity, right? Now you have sensors recording all this data, sending it through IoT. All right. Now this is where AI and data comes in, right? With all these data, all right, with all this data, the formulation they need to do to create the unique blend or the unique taste of beer, that can be done using AI and data, right? Because they know that to get that optimum beer tasting, the temperature has to be 70 degrees, the humidity has to be something, the pH level has to be a certain number. That is where the data comes in, all right, to make a perfect product. Aside the product itself, now they know that when you are running an assembly plant, all right, hardware is, things are working 24/7 or depending on the timeline. And every part or component on that device has a certain lifespan. Just like when you're driving a car, they know that after a certain mileage, your car should go for servicing. Is that okay? So the same thing with IoT. You're getting all the sensor readings from all the equipment you have in your factory floor, right? It can use that to infer that, what, for some time now, anytime we run the facility for 6 days, this component is likely to break down. So after 6 days or before that happens, let's start to do maintenance every 5 days. That is AI and inference using data. Is that not it? That is
Yes,
just
sir.
the AI and data side. Then again, you can talk about device security. How secure is that sensor, that physical device that is sending the data? Security is there. All right. Aside that, we can talk about street cameras. There's a crime somewhere, and you say, oh, the registration number of the car is AR, whatever, whatever. Now, AI embedded in computer vision. Street cameras can be looking, taking pictures of number plates and running them in the background with AI. Is this the car we're looking for using computer vision? Once that is found, we've identified this guy. So IoT is everywhere, connected to everything. So it is connected to almost everything. It depends on how you use it.
All right, thank you. We're going to move to our next speaker. Samuel will come back to you because you have you have the guests, you have our attendees excited because they are dropping questions for you in the
Uh,
comment section right now. So we're going to
wait,
come back to you to ask the rest of the questions. So I don't
Alana,
know. I think yeah,
wait,
Shay, please.
there is a question here that saying someone say he's studying electrical electronics and engineering university. I think Samuel just jot it down. When we call you, you can answer it. He's studying that, and he wants to see whether it's connected with programming.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
The
Okay.
simple answer is yes, but if you want some more elaborate answer, we can do
Just
that
jot
with
it down.
MS
While Olana go to the next speaker, let us hear the other person speaker, the story.
All right, so Oladimeji, please, I would like to have you next. I want to hear your story. How did you get to where you are today? And I'm sure there are a lot of excited attendees who would also want to hear from you and want to pick up one or two tricks on how to, make it in this industry. Hi.
Hi everyone, good evening. It's a journey that uh, I can't just say this is how it starts, but I think I'm going to try a bit. Okay, this journey starts from my dad in who was in OAU then doing his PhD in computer science, and then I was in, let me say, like in primary crossing to secondary, but I love toys then, all these toy video game, all the stuff. So one day my dad just came back and started thinking like, how will you be doing a whole PhD program in a university like OAU, and you won't have access to a system like even during the program like in a class, and and I'm just like, what is computer? Uh, like a question is coming from someone who did not know what is even going on. Like, like computer, processing of the data, like store it, like something interact with. Like, wow, this is so interesting. But before then, I'm someone who have passion for what we call electronics. Let me put it that way. I so much in love with electronics. So much in love with it. So when I get to secondary school, far back as 1986,
I'm hearing some background sound.
back sound 1 minute.
Yeah, Oladimeji is breaking a lot. Oladimeji, if you can hear me, we cannot hear you here. You're breaking a lot, and there's some like feedback from your background.
Oh, now is it okay now?
So why Oladimeji
It's
checked
okay.
his internet connection? Maybe we can. Is it? Can you hear him from your NJ?
Yes, I can. But there's still the background noise that's in front. A cracking noise.
Yeah, there's a lot of feedback.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we
Go
can
ahead.
actually have Ayo. We can have
Yeah.
Ayo come tell us his story before Oladimeji comes back up. So Ayo, are you with us? Great.
Yes, I have.
So all the fun stuff we have on your profile, tell us how you came about all of that. We want to know.
Well, happy to be here, like once again. So my story, I think that there is something that's a little bit common from everybody's story that I've heard. Yeah, everybody talks about how their father was involved, and that just reminds me of the very important role that fathers play in the lives of their children. So my dad also bought a computer. I was probably about 7 or 8 years old, and he just bought this personal computer in the house. And I would go in there, sneak into the room at night, and then just turn on that computer. It's just for me. It was just about curiosity. Turn it on. It was Windows XP. If you remember that sound. And then I just kind of turn it on, open Microsoft Word, and just type
Definitely.
something. And sometimes I just play with word hearts. I mean, that was where the curiosity just started. Yeah, so fast forward many years after, I did study biochemistry in school, but in about 200, 300 level, I started falling in love with IT. And I had to start to learn. So I think what was very pivotal in my move into IT was around the fact that I had an uncle who was a professor who told me to find out how websites are being developed, right? And I just wanted to know how do people build websites, and I ended up building one. Just learning then, gradually HTML, CSS, JavaScript, here and there, little by little. Yeah, so I decided to then move into IT fully. So my journey is from childhood, my father buying a computer. That's my first introduction to a computer. So if you are a father today, you should also think of what you can do for your son or your children, right? What are you buying at home? Are you buying cars, right? Or you're buying computers? Because the money they used to buy computers then, I don't know, they could have used it to buy a shoe, right? Or buy a cloth or dress or something. And that value that I had from having a PC at home, I won't have it today, if you guys get what I mean. So yeah, that's how my journey started, and then it's been a journey of learning and learning and learning, and then curiosity. So I've moved from one area of IT to another, and another. I've moved from one tech stack to another, just being curious and been learning along the way. So in summary, like, it's a long story, but I can't take that much time to tell you everything. But it's curiosity, it's learning, and it's also opportunity, because if I never saw a computer in my life, there is no way I would be here I am today, right? So
All right, Jay, I'm sure you have a lot to say about his curiosity and the purchase of a computer science. I mean, they said go and learn how to build a website. And he just went, he didn't just go to find out how websites are being built, he actually built one. Shay, what do you
Hmm.
have to say about that?
Well, it brings me to a point. There's so many things I've been jotting down. Um, the pivot for Sam was the parent involvement. The pivot for Oladimeji, the same parent involvement, and also for Ayo now is saying the same. And for Ayo's story, and if you are out there and you are still considering what you want to do, what Ayo says that he was curious and he dived into the ocean, and that ocean he dive into now, it's now what he is using to make up the change that is doing all around the world. I met Ayo quite years back before sorry, he moved to Canada, and Ayo was always doing a solution. I want to make this work in this bank. And I said, Ayo, please, I want you to come and speak in one of our events. That was way back 5 years or 6 years ago. And I can see that what pushes Ayo is the passion to learn, the passion to be able to know more about things that is around him, and to make that effect, make it real. And that is one thing we need to look at, especially if you are out there, you are studying engineering, you are studying computer science. It's not just about the study, it's about putting yourself in the position to make it happen. Olana, that's just what I can say about the story.
All right, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. You've said a lot, right? So we can just look at bringing in our next guests. Hi, Shay. Are you still there?
Yes, our next guest is Bernard. Bernard, well, I'm shaking you for 2 years. I saw the effects. If you remember when Michael Lufisi introduced that, it's a guy in Ghana. I should get in contact. I love people. I connect with people that have passion for community. And he said, get involved with this man. Michael is a very lovely person. And since then, I know our relationship, just like with Frank and with Sam, has been very lovely across the two countries. Now, tell us how you got into this, especially from the professional perspective and your career?
So, unlike my colleagues who spoke, I'm not a Dada B. I mean, someone will understand. So,
Okay,
Dada B's,
interpret in global language, not in Ghanaian
so,
language.
I mean, Dada B's get access to computers early, they play with
Okay,
it.
okay.
So, I probably never had a computer till I started banking.
Mm,
That was in my 20s. So, my story actually started in the bank. And looking back, I think it's more God led.
mm,
I was in GT Bank. I started with them in Ghana. And the thing is, no matter how small your gift, your IT gift, I'm an Excel MVP. And for people, you think that the skill you have is in a small area. But if you approach life with a problem solving mind, okay, that small skill can be very fruitful. So in GT Bank, in my department, we were allowed to create a lot of templates. And even though for me, the only formula I knew was the equal sign, I didn't even know VLOOKUP or anything like that. My goal was to be able to solve the little problems around me. So I recall that even in the bank, I created templates for withholding tax calculations, for lease repayment, and all that. And where my story actually takes a turn is after 4 years at GT Bank, I decided to quit. Not because of GT Bank, but there was this passion to do more with what I had. And after quitting, I really didn't know what to do. If you want to throw in the fact that it was in that same year that I got married, you realize how crazy that decision was. So I quit GT Bank. It was a fantastic place. I was home for 6 months and I was just trying to figure out what I can do. And in fact, I didn't have any IT skill. Just to encourage anybody who has um, even little Microsoft Office, that you can do much if you decide. So I met this GT client and he was asking, what am I doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just looking at improving SME operations. I'm here to even establish my company. So come and have a look at my school system. And this is one lady who had about 3 proprietary software. The moment I got into the school, the only thing that came up was Excel. And I started redesigning the whole school process using Microsoft Excel. And in fact, the book that I used was a 2007 book by Wayne Winston. I see the problem, I go back home to go and read the chapter, and then I come the next day to come and implement what I learned. And through that period, I was, I think, about 2 months, I read like the first 11 chapters of that book, but I read it with a problem solving eye. I read and I come and apply, I read and I come and apply. Now, I must say that since 2012, even for a school that has about almost 1,000 students, that single Excel solution became my breakthrough. So, been adding on, and I realized that through that, I could even teach what I was learning. So, I had my first teaching bank break. I taught at Access Bank, and then I realized that this is what I want to do. But my point is this: no matter how small the gift, no matter even if it is just um, publisher or word or anything like that, look at it with a problem-solving eye. The idea is that once you dig deep, let me just take you back to the Bible a bit. Proverbs 18:16 says, "A man's gift opens room for him and brings him before kings." So just to encourage you that with my little Excel, it's grown all the way to even get a growing financial modeling community in Ghana, where we teach financial modeling to students and workers, and we are building applications with Excel and all that. So just to encourage you that come along, even if your gift is very little, and that's what I have to share.
Hmm. Well, Olana, if you are getting what I'm getting here, one, Bernard's story can maybe thousands of people out there that are hearing us now. Um, they might not have somebody in terms of financial backbone to lead them or get them computer, but Bernard was able to check what he has and he used it to build a career for himself. So what I gained from Bernard is that he was always doing something from a problem solving high. I think that is a nice code.
Yeah,
Make
that's
Yes.
it.
Yes.
make changes by having a problem solving that. Maybe you're already on Azure. When you are doing your Azure, all you need to do is like see Azure from the problem solving high. I want to solve this problem in my company. I want to solve this one. If you are doing Word, as little as Word, it can be a pathway of career. Today, Bernard is an MVP in Excel. He does great thing in the community, and that is what we are telling. That's the story of this grassroots. Wherever you are, your background does not determine who you are. Bernard is the story. IT is a place you can come in if you have the eye of problem solving. Olana, my conclusion. What do you have to say about Bernard?
So you have totally summarized this, right? Approaching life with a problem-solving eye. That's it for me, honestly. So when you look at the problem, so and one thing I picked up from all of Bennett, what Bennett has said is, you go the first day, look at whatever problem that exists, go back, find the solution, and bring it back to your customer, or bring it back to whatever problem that you're trying to resolve. And in the first few months, he read like 11 chapters of this book to solve problems, right? That also brings me to what our previous guest said, I think our last session from last month, right?
Yeah.
So they said, whatever it is, what you spend your time doing, that is what is going to speak for you at the end of the day, right? Look at it this way: approaching problems with a solution mind. You have to look at problems and see a solution to those problems, right? Then you spend your time, invest your time to look for those solutions, and you come and apply it. So I think
Exactly.
it's as simple as that, right? So these
Exactly.
things, as simple as it seems, not everybody gets to think about it. So thank you, Bernard, for putting it out there. I'm sure a lot of people are quite inspired when they see a problem, they think of the solution, they go out there, look for whatever solution there is to this problem, and come and apply it.
Okay. I think David, what you have been silent. What do you have to say? I think you want to bring Samuel on spot again. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So because I'm mobile, so that's why. So
Okay.
she usually in trouble for dragging me away from my wife. So so you have to
my
answer
hands
to
are
that.
up. I take excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, it's just one of the things that have actually stood out to me with all the guests and hearing their stories so far is there's no one way to come into IT. Whether you start early, whether you're in the middle, whether it's late, whether you start out with biochemistry, whether you start out like Sam with an interest in mechanics and electrical components and then translating that into IT, whichever aspect that you're able to hook into to come in, there is no single way, right? There's always an opportunity to come in different ways and to bring in just different skills and different talents and different potential into the aspect of IT. So that's what stood out to me. It's just very, very encouraging. Very, very encouraging. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. There's a lot of comment from the comment box. I'll just read
Yes,
out
there are.
while a lot of them. Izochukwu Ede, you said, how do you join the group? We are going to share the link at the end of this section where you see what you can do and what you can actually, how you can join the group and what the group is all about. Then I think another person said, our friend Adna, Adna from Netherlands said, nice session, guys. And Lois said, inspiring story. That's what I can capture here. Olana, do you have any other one before we bring Samuel back?
Okay, so Anna just also dropped a comment. He says, thank you for inspiring the community. So like I said, all of the stories so far has been a lot of inspiration to me personally and of course to all of our attendees listening in. So thank you so much, guys. Hi, Samuel. So do you have more words for us, please?
Yeah, so yeah, I do. It's just that I just wanted to add something that especially Bernard and our previous guest mentioned, and it's cutting across all of us. If you follow us keenly, or if you hear our stories, these things stand out: passion, curiosity, dedication. These three things stand out. If you listen to all our stories, the passion, the curiosity, and the dedication all stand out, through it. Like Bernard said, I'm not, and always say that it means you're coming from an affluent family. I also didn't come from an affluent family. I never had a computer, even when I started, programming. I got my very first laptop when I was in the university. And this is what I wanted to add. Anytime you acquire knowledge, let your community and people around you know you've acquired that knowledge. Use that knowledge to make a difference. Like, let people know I can use Excel to do this. Let people know I can use IoT to change the garbage collection schedule on my street in the community. And this is why I'm saying that. I have another unique story. I managed to do Oracle certified associate, Oracle certified professional through my foster mother. And and how we connected was just amazing. I went through, primary school, middle school, JSS, senior high school, all doing technology. All right. I went to senior high school, and I was telling my dad, I'm never coming to this computer lab because they had old computers. Even my primary school had better computers, And unknowingly, the instructor for the computer lab had me. And as proud parents would do. I didn't even know when I was going to high school. My father had already packed all my DOS, Q Basic, Windows 95, 90, like all the certificates I had done. This man had a file that had all of it in it. And for those who want to really look at me, it's not today that I'm bulky and big. I was like, I was like this, very slim and tiny. And this man had it. All right. Long story short, they ended up having me work in the computer lab, repairing computers and doing that. It ended me in the regional director of education's office in trying to fix a simple printer. That was because when I got into the school, I made them know, hey, I'm capable of doing this. And that relationship spiraled to today. I got access to high places just because one, the passion, the dedication, and curiosity, and also sharing, letting people know that I'm capable of doing this. These traits, if you look at all our stories, that is what makes you exceptional. It doesn't matter. You don't need to have a computer. You don't need, so far as you're dedicated, you're passionate, you're curious, and you are willing to share and love it, you can achieve it. I just wanted to add that.
Great. Knowledge is a key to bringing about change. And the caption here, Olana, I'm seeing is that whatever knowledge you have, you can use that knowledge to solve your environmental problem.
Exactly.
Back here in Africa, we are faced with issue all around us. But if we all, as a team, whether in the West, whether in the North of Africa, we can use our knowledge, we can make a change in our environment. So,
Yes, we can.
moving ahead, we're going to bring the Meiji back now, and we're going to ask him a question. And that question is, what is his best advice? What is the best advice he can give to help people plan rather than simply just do a job? Sam said passion, curiosity, that makes you not just do things just because you want to earn. Just like Michael Olufisi said last 2 months, it's not about earn, it's about doing things to make change. So, Oladimeji, how do you think, what advice can you give us that can make us not just come into IT just for what we want to gain, but to have the mindset to make change in our environment?
One thing about life, I'll share this before I go into that main question. There's one thing about life, is only the information that you look for that you will get. Only the information that you look for that you'll get. Let me share this story quickly. In 2008, January, February, I came into Lagos, joined a company called Nigerian Bag Manufacturing Company as a casual worker. So because my house is very, very far to Surulere, I live in Ikorodu. So sometimes I have to stay back in Surulere inside the company. So as a casual worker, they pay me per day. And what am I doing there? I'm packing sack pack. So overnight, what I've just always used to do is find a small place, read on CCNA. Just trying to read CCNA. I have my textbook as big as it is. I don't have a personal computer or laptop anyhow. So I have a lot of printout and I will go through this book. So on this fateful day, there is one of their manager coming unknown to me. So he has sighted me afar and is like, hey, guy, what are you doing there? I'm like, I'm reading. He said, what? You're supposed to be working. I said, no, I'm off based on the fact that it's tomorrow morning that I'll start working. And I just like, let me just read. Just say, what are you reading? Just take the book and like flinging it off. I'm like, please, I don't fling it up. Like, so he just opened the book and you just see some connection stuff. So that thing really catch him and like, what's this? Unknown to me that this man, as a manager, is reading the same textbook on CCNA inside his own office. So the man just picked me, come. I'm like, God, this little one that I'm doing, why? Why is it that someone want to take it off me again? So he took me to his office and he said, sit down. I'm like, seriously, sit down. So, like, who am I? I said, myself, this is who I am. He said, who am I here? This is a big question. Like, I can't just explain. I just have to make sure that I'm trying to find myself something. It's like, no, there is a difference between a job and a work. So when you now make mention there's a difference between a job and a work, I'm like, are they not the same thing? They are different. They are completely different. So don't let me go much about it, but it's a story for another day. So now coming to what can really help you to keep this career. Number one is you look for information. Then number two, if you are not passionate about IT is not just a career, it's a professional career. Mr. Sheyi can tell you many times that I've disturbed him, I need this, I want to get this. And you know how pressing I can be sometimes when I'm curious about, I just need this. No matter anything that it will take me is for me to leave anywhere I am to where he is, he knows me about that. So that's number two. And then number three, don't be a superstar. Never be in your comfort zone. You know, when I get a job, like when I get a job, the first thing that I'll be thinking of is what is the most difficult thing about this organization as IT is concerned. I've been to a company whereby they have like 4 IT guys, and I was called from outside to come and do re-engineering. Yes, these IT guys, they are certified, yes, but it's just a matter of they are reading and pass. They're just reading and pass. So when it comes to real life issue, when it comes to you, don't just stay there. Look for it. Where is it? What is disturbing them? When you get it and you need it, you can get to your office and you are like doing another project before they know it. So that keep you going on your career, on your work. Forget about job. If you are not taking a job as passionate as you can, it won't become a work. For real, it won't become a work. Keeping you on a job may be on nice service, but when you are doing it, people around you, when it gets to a time when the company or the organization seeing you as you are carrying the whole organization on your head, like when they want to do this, they think about IT. Yes, when it gets to that level, that's when you know that yes, you are working, yes, you are doing something. You know, I have so much belief in lab. When I have a lab, like let me say, you have a VM lab, you create a problem for yourself on it, and then you look for a way. Apart from the way you are resolving it in the office, you resolve it there. So it makes you to understand that keeping IT as simple as what you can just imagine. There is a day one of my MD called me and like, Oladimeji, I'm going home. That am I not closing? I said, excuse me, ma, I can't close now. He said, this is 8 o'clock. Am I doing anything? Everybody has closed. I said, yes, what I'm doing now is something, is a project that when I look at the department, if I want to remove a department from my connection, from my network, from my domain, and join them to another domain or to another connection, to another network, they won't even feel it. It's like, but I can do that tomorrow. I say, yes, I can do that tomorrow. But this, if I'm not resolving it, I'm not going anywhere. So, keeping your job as simple as you can is like you getting to office the following day, putting your leg on your desk, and keep watching a new discovery about IT or about something trending on IT in your office, and you feel comfortable with it. So your plan should be look for information, be curious about it, be passionate about it, write professional exam. Don't forget there is a problem somewhere looking for you. So when you acquire all these things, before you could write any professional exam, try as much as possible to be techy about it. Because who knows? Who knows? One day the opportunity may come. That's by the way. Who knows? May get to a level whereby you just have to apply that knowledge that you have acquired, which is not even from the book. So keeping your job, make your work simpler. Yes. But you working simply in a simple way, in a simplified way, make your job as easy as you can think. So that's my little advice.
All
Oh,
right.
thank you.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Shay, I thought you were out. Please go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Right. So I got a few things from what you've said so far. Right. One of them is do not be a superstar in your comfort zone. That literally hits me. And there are a lot of people out there who just stay in their comfort zone and do not move forward. They just do their job and it turns into work for them because they are not growing. And that's probably as a result of that, not enjoying what they do. So you should be passionate about what you do. You should do your job so it doesn't turn into work for you. And of course, look for information. That is critical. You can only get information that you look for. So whatever you are doing, if you want to, excel in your job, excel in your career, in order to put together a good career plan, you have to do like a SWOT analysis of yourself and of course, look for information that will help you in your career path.
Sorry,
Thank
can I
you
add this?
so very much.
Can I add
Yes,
this?
yes, of course. Please go ahead.
Okay. Now, when you are planning for career, it's different from when you are planning a bit for work. When you are planning from a career, there is no way you can jump the process. You can jump as a work. But when it comes to career, take a trend. Start from basic. Start from basic. It's just like you moving in a trend of security. You can start from your networking. If my people that are here is really eating them up based on the fact that you want to jump into security, you don't know anything about networking, you know nothing about, you know, let me just say you, like, okay, for example, as a professional, you are writing a certification on maybe Network Plus, Security Plus, maybe it's on Competia, and then you are coming to Microsoft. You can come into Microsoft, like Microsoft Security, can go to, but for someone coming in form of, okay, I'm a programmer coming into security, it may be a little difficult. Yes, it's fine, but when you are not planning, this is the trend I want to follow right from the beginning. I know that the higher you go, the thinner it becomes, but it's better to take it right from the basic. Once you take it right from the basic, every other thing will be boom. You are good to go. So that's it.
All right, thank you so much. I think we're going to have Ayo come up next. Oh, hi, Shay.
Hi,
I don't know.
yeah.
Do you want to take the next question?
Yeah, it's for Ayo. Yes. Ayo, there is something I've been following up with you after we reconnected, and that is you have this drive to accelerate startup, and you have so many ideas that you have been talking about across the network in Canada, which I've been following up. So I just want to know, in your own view, looking at that, the question we have here is that how do you describe your personal style in this? Especially, you have a vision to bring out people, IT people, um, transit them from just being a technical person, but owning their own business and using that to elevate poverty in Africa. So, what is your vision, and how do you consider that style for us here? Can you just share that aspect of your life?
Everybody can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so thanks for that question, Shay. Um, so the way I look at Haiti right now, and to start with, there are tons of opportunities. I tell people like it's just about the right time to get into IT. And the interesting thing is that the entry barrier has been broken so low.
Mm,
There are like it's much easier to get into IT in 2021 than it was in 2010,
mm,
right? And you might not even realize how easy it is because there are companies that would even hire you without even a degree, today, which
mm.
was not the case before. So there are tons of opportunities in tech, and when I look at people and I say, "Oh, I don't know what I want to do," first of all, you need to kind of figure out yourself because it's about knowing yourself, knowing who you are. When you find yourself, you will be able to find your voice in technology. And irrespective of what path you choose to take eventually, whether you want to go solve a problem, and that's one beautiful thing about technology. You could just wake up tomorrow and say, there is a problem and I want to solve it. Okay?
Mm.
and I'm going to use technology. 20 years ago, that didn't exist. If you want to do a business, you have to have money. They call it capital. Today in IT, you almost don't even need a capital. You just need to build an MVP, get it ready. You can talk to investors, and they can pour money on you, literally. So it opens like a lot of doors. Whether you want to go solve a problem with technology, whether you just want to build a career for yourself, fulfilling one. So it's easier, but you must understand who you are. You must know what you love, what you can do. And this is the way I ask people: how do you even know what you can do if you don't even know about what exists? So, which brings me back to the point of asking questions, and a lot of speakers have already touched on that. You need to be curious. Curiosity is very, very important. Learning, like for instance, if you're listening to this conversation, whether on Facebook or LinkedIn, it's part of curiosity. There's something in you that's saying I should be in that program. All right. So why not take that same spirit and then get into whatever IT area you really want to be, right? And I do a lot of helping. I do a lot of consulting. Help people to get into IT. I've helped over 20 people, to start a career in IT. Some of them even earn a lot of money. That at some point I'm like, man, this is serious. Maybe some of them are earning even more than me. But that's not the point. The point is that there are tons of opportunities, and if you are somebody that have figured out yourself, you can find a voice for yourself in IT. You can map your own track, and everybody's story doesn't need to be the same, right? So somebody could have started from IoT. Somebody could have started when they were like 6 years old. Somebody could have started at 30. I know people started IT career at 30 years old, and 6 years after they're earning about $100,000 in a year. All right. At 30, they were completely blind and ignorant. They don't even know what they're going to do with their lives. But at 36, the story has changed considerably. So when you think about it, you think about what should be like your own style. Where should you come from? What should you do? Right? Understand yourself, know who you are, and then find your own path, find your own voice, and just commit to it. So that's what I would just say, in terms of discovering yourself, your personal style. How do you learn? Like, for instance, some people learn watching videos. Some have been watching videos for the past 5 years, and they've never learned anything. Some just give them YouTube and they're good. Some will never learn from YouTube. They need to be in a classroom. So very important to figure out, who you are, so that you can accelerate your own journey by yourself, right? So if you know who you are, you know how you learn, the style that works for you, just use it, right? Don't try to be like somebody else. Don't try to copy somebody, because we're all different, right? And our journey in life would also be different. So just try to find out your own voice and just follow it. Yeah, that'll be my answer to that question.
Find your own voice. I love that. Find your own voice. IT entry level is 0 now. 0 account to open a bank account. All you need to do,
Exactly.
find your own, ensure that voice can make impact for you, and you work with it. That's my conclusion, Olana. For hire.
Yeah, and again, create your own story. Be curious and create your own story. It can be from 4, it can be from 30, it can be from 40. Just create your own story. It's more or less like taking things into your own hands and making it work for yourself. Thank you so much, so much,
Awesome.
Aya.
Yeah. And one other thing that Aya said that's also very impactful was Aya said something about finding your personal style. You need to be curious, right? And that's so important, because that's sort of like a way to filter. Try many things, right? So go to all these workshops. That's where community is important. Go to all these workshops. Go to all these events. They have an event on machine learning. Go ahead. Don't say I'm in security. Go for that event, right? You say, oh, I'm doing programming. Go for the networking event, for the security event. You have no idea until you try it and you're like, wow, I connect with this, right? I connect with this on a deeper level, and then you can take that further. So you have to try things out and go for different community events, join different community groups, try your hands on different things, and then that can quickly help you to sort out which one you connect with the most. So that's very powerful, Ayo. Thanks very much for
Yeah,
sharing that.
thanks for that addition. Really super grateful for that.
All right, thank you so much. We're going to have Summer come up next. We have a very interesting question for Summer. So Summer,
Yeah.
you're into application development. You're into AI, IoT. You're an MVP.
Yeah.
Where does all of this come from? Where does your passion for tech, your passion for IoT, where is all of this coming from? We want to know.
I it's it's quite difficult to pinpoint exactly where it's coming from, but I think I call myself an early adapter and self-motivated. I am the type that wants to know what's new out there in terms of technology that I can use to solve. I'm a problem solver. I mean, naturally, I try to solve problems. So combining my, tech speak like skills, my knowledge with, IoT and programming and all that, I'm always looking for how do I solve a problem. So if it means as a new tech, I need to research, investigate, look out to see can that solve my problem, right? And as a problem solver, you tend to use all the tools available. So I say that I have this simple philosophy. If no matter what you want to do, right, on this planet, there is a way we can use tech to facilitate it. Even if you want to grow cassavas, maize, whatever, if you want to farm, I mean, and here we are today, we have smart farms, we have like agri-tech, right? So I think it's my passion to solve problems. That is what keeps me going. And also, I love to share because I know the benefit of what sharing and community has done for me. I love to share. So you realize that sometimes you want to share something or something something new is up. I'm like, okay, how do I get my hands on that thing to learn it? And once I learn it, I have to share it because here's the case: the more you share, the more you get better. The more you teach, the more you get better at something. So I think that's where it's coming from. One other thing I've also realized, and for myself, is um once you identify what makes you tick or what inspires you, it's easy for you to build a career towards that. So for me, problem solving, sharing, and the love of technology and the love of community is what keeps me going. That's what inspires me. you know that's what make me wake up one morning and like wake up every day and like, I want to do this. Can we do this? Can we get this too? And I'll go the extra mile to get whatever it takes or whatever I need to understand that tech, to understand how it works, and to share it. Because that's the ultimate. Because after you've learned it, what else? You share it. And once you share it, you become, the more you share, the more you learn. So I think that's where it comes from. But apart from that, it's just fun trying new tech. So that's where my passion and inspiration comes from.
Somehow they always don't want me to ask my own questions. I get to ask other people my questions, but when it comes to you, everybody just keeps coming up with their own questions. So let me take the question. So there's still times when I can get to ask
Yeah,
mine.
yeah.
So Izuchukwu wants to know what the level of women's interest in IT at your location is.
So I mean, not. I think this is a global thing. All right, there is this global I won't say shortage, but there is this global imbalance when it comes to women in IT or women in tech. Let's put it that way, technology, because it's very broad. Probably because of past myths or understanding that tech is not for women or it's a men's dominated field and all that. I mean, personally and naturally, I've seen a few, splendid, women in tech, yourself inclusive, Foyin, Jumoke, like, a lot of people. Um, I think one of the reasons is that we didn't grow up with a lot of female techpreneurs or female in technology around us. So it wasn't common to see women, in tech. right? You're always seeing a male engineer, a male developer, a male, like you're always seeing the male dominated in all these areas, right? So as a woman, it was probably difficult for you to say, okay, I also want to venture into this. But I think lately, or over the couple of years now, we're having women that are breaking the status quo, women in technology, also advocating, and that's the thing. Um, there's an imbalance. I mean, that's the truth. It's a global thing, but we also need a lot of the women to start advocate or to continue advocating for their fellow women, to get into it. Look, if a man can do it, a woman can also do it, right? It's not, we don't have a man's brain and a woman's brain when it comes to learning and absorbing stuff. All right. Sometimes we feel that, oh no, this is a male dominated thing, you won't have fun with it. No, but we have to start advocating towards that. So I think that is why, because of our probably cultural settings and growing up without having mentors and mentors and people to help us, that's why we've seen a shortage in women. But I think lately a lot of the women are doing well, trying to advocate for more women into the industry. But it will take some time though.
All right, thank
Oh,
you so much. So you're totally correct. There are other women in tech. So I would just say this to Izuchuku. Izuchuku, I work in tech, and I'm in a team of eight, and I am proud to tell you that we're eight women in my team. I proudly say that to
Yeah.
everyone. We're eight women in my team, and we're all women working in tech. So we'll just quickly bring Bernard and Oladimeji to just come up quickly to say one or two things about women in tech and how more women can come up with the different
I, I,
programs that are available.
I think Olana, you should also
Yeah.
ask both of them the next question so that we can just move up to break for a break. So
Okay,
ask
great.
both of
So
them the next question.
I'll throw the question. I'll throw the question out there. I
Mhm.
would have you answer the question and of course respond to the level of women's interest in IT as well. So our question is to Olajimizi and Bernard, right?
Okay.
So
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate
sorry.
that. Quick one.
No, let me take the question first. So he says, what will you say is the best way to make substantial difference in BI and analytics? So if I want to make an impact, if I want to get into data, I want to do stuff around BI and analytics, what would you say is the best way to go about it? I know you're really committed to women in tech, so you can still speak about that as well.
Okay, quick one. Women in tech. Um, it was of recent I discovered that there are a lot of great ways that women in tech can really make it. There are a lot of programs, even especially if you want to go for me, let me say masters. There is a scholarship for that you can even go for that. Okay, having said that, in England, I discovered that when you get a class in tech, there are some areas that you won't even see women coming up. So there's a class that I used to have which have to do with digital forensic. to be sincere with you, to be sincere with you, when we are having a debate in class, women are strong. Like they are strong. Though they are not many, they are just coming up. But here, when they analyze for you, when they analyze security of especially on this forensic of a thing, which is like going to extreme of cybersecurity, you see them doing like wow, they are just like a bomb. Like when they're raising out of the box, you look at it and you can't just imagine it as a normal being. Women are coming up powerfully. I must tell you. I must tell you, is we that like blacks that we are taking it with a left hand. Seriously, seriously, we have to wake up. In China, I can remember very well when my wife was schooling, everything that they are doing, most of even their security, their medical lab are handled by women and is IT tech level. So we can just imagine that type of things. So in Africa,
we have to inculcate this, we have to bring this into our systems and see how and what we can do. We are a bit up. Let's see how we can bring them in. Techie is not only meant for men. There are a lot of ways. I've met a lot of people in Orange Char, in there are a lot of companies in Nigeria that when I get there and said I want to see maybe service delivery person, the person in charge of IT service management, the person that I'll see is a female, and you know, passionately I appreciate that. So let me move to the next question, which says,
So a quick one on that, the women before you go on,
okay,
if I'm allowed to. Just a practical side on what we are doing to encourage women here in Ghana. So at Finest Skills Hub, we are organizing this sponsored training for girls or ladies between 20 and 25 in Excel and Python. And that is our way to encourage them to embrace analytics. In fact, it's a 9-week program where we bring selected girls in to learn analytics and Python. In fact, it was very surprising that when we put out the application, almost 200 ladies applied. And out of that, we selected 20 to train. I'm just adding this because I feel there's a real need out there for communities and companies who want to empower women. And our example is probably a good template for any community or organization to follow and encouragement. I just wanted to add that part. Thank you.
okay,
That's really inspiring. Very inspiring.
okay. I think I can go to the next question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, which says, what will you say about the best way of sustaining different in BI and analytics? I say, BI, let me say BI, if you have not known the root, there's no way you can do BI. Analytics, you can just look at a glance and say your analytics, for example. Just let me put it that way. But when it comes to BI, for you to have a clean and a strong BI, you must be able to deal with root. In the sense that where is the genesis of program? Excel. Excel. You must know your Excel very well. You must know in and out of it. Yeah, you must not be a professional on Excel, but it will help you when it comes to BI. There is a back work for BI, or there is a back work on your application that will help your BI, no matter the type of BI you are using. Talk about Power BI, for example, every retail application, talk about navigation, talk about dynamics, every one of them have a BI side of it. So now when it comes to analysis, bringing both together, BI will help your analysis. For example, if you do a BI at a glance to any management team, they must be able to see a sheet of paper that give them every details, every fact about the organization. That's a very good thing about BI. Now, I will say that when it comes to your analysis, these are figures, these are facts that can be easily related to each other. Okay, when you say 1 plus 1 equals to 11 here, so it means that 1 is not 1, meaning 1 must be 5.5. You know, when you are able to relate these together, that's analytics. You analyze it. This how this thing flows. So, but in VI, talking about it from different angle. You can easily get your chart. You can easily get your up time. You can get your downtime. Either you are using Oracle, either you are using Microsoft, you are using .NET, you are using any one of them. You must be strong with the root. If you are not strong with the root, if you can't relate your table, if you can't relate your columns, if you can't relate your rows, it may be difficult. It may be difficult for you to have a sustained and a standard BI. So they are different is one have to deal with root, which is BI. Then when it comes to analysis, it may be on a surface. It may be on a surface. Maybe on the surface. So uh analytical, another thing about when you're analyzing something. Let me say, for example, uh I like to use retail because it deal with both of them. It did both of them. On BI side, what management want to see or what they are expecting is figures, and they want to see it like a glance. They want to see just ordinary sheet of paper. They just want to like, what are you holding? This is a report for a whole company, just on a sheet of paper. That's what BI, that's what it does, most especially. When you are analyzing, it flows with process.
Okay.
It flows most time with process. Okay, we are able to obtain this based on the fact that we have this. We are able to generate this based on the fact that we have this. On techie, when you are analyzing, is a bit different. For example, let me say on networking, how do I want to put, where do I want to put, let me say my firewall or my gateway in this network? Okay, let me look at the architecture design of what the network is saying, what your network is. Where will I put my gateway? Where will I put this? Where will I put this? So it's just like that. It's just like that. Don't let me keep taking us to more level. I am trying to make it as simple as I can. Let me just put it that way.
All right, thank you so much. I'm sure there is a lot from where that is coming from. But before we respond to that, let's just quickly listen to Bernard.
So just a quick response to the question on what I do to challenge my underlying beliefs and assumptions. Is that a question?
Yes, please, you can go ahead with the question.
Yes. So in this tech space, I'll bounce back to what we discussed earlier, that you need to be curious. And I feel because of the fluidity and how fast technology is evolving, it is important you are abreast. So if you realize that even a simple tool like Excel is evolving too quickly, and these days you realize that there are new functions that are coming up, same with all the other products as well. So you need to be curious, bottom line, in order to be able to um, challenge your assumptions, okay, and also inspire creativity. One thing I also want to add is that we are in a gig economy, and right now it is possible to sit in your room, solve problems for people, and issue invoices. So, to encourage everybody, let's embrace what we call transferable skills. I know typically we have transferable skills like critical thinking, teamwork, communication. But if we embrace digital transferable skills, it would ensure that even if we are working as consultants, solving people's problems, we are still able to make a living. And this gig economy makes it possible. So, in what I do to challenge my assumptions, I stay curious, I stay up to date, I make sure I'm always on top of the new trends and tech. And that would make it possible for you to solve problems as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Jay, do you want to quickly respond to that?
Uh, yes. um, there is something that Ayo is saying. Ayo is saying he's giving, he has a program he's running in order to help people get into IT. And he said he's giving out for 5 people who is ready, especially female. If you're a female in the house, just let us know you are in the house. And Ayo, in the next 2 minutes, you just tell us about the program and just the first 5 ladies that can just say hi to Olana. We get the code, we send it to you, and you are in that program. Ayo, 2 minutes because we're about going for a break.
Okay, awesome. So I just thought to bring it up. Okay,
Yeah.
so like I said, I work with different people in IT. I work with people that are completely new to IT and they're trying to figure out what to do. You know, people that don't even know what's, and when you say OS, they don't know what OS means, right? But 2 years after, they're in a paid job. And like I said, there are tons of opportunity in IT. So I'm running a training. It's a paid training, and I do that like remotely. I have people from Nigeria, I have people from Canada, I have people from the US. And what we do in that training is we go through all the areas of IT. We discuss in details every single field in IT, what opportunities are available, how to start in any of them, and what you need to do. And then we develop a 6 month game plan for you. So that 6 month game plan is what you will follow. So the process is that after 6 months, you are somewhere different. Most people get a job in 6 months, you know, depending on what path you choose. So, and I just felt to just encourage people. So, you know, as ladies especially. So I'm giving out a 70% discount on the training. Like I said, it's a paid training. It's not a free one because it's one-on-one and I do it. I mean, it's very expensive. So, but I want to give a 70% discount out, and you know, anybody, maybe like 5 people that are interested. Like I said, it's for people who want to go into IT. You must be ready. You're not guessing at this point. You know, you don't know what to do, but you are ready. You're open-minded. You're ready to learn. You have 6 months. You have internet. You have time on your side a little bit. Doesn't matter. You don't have to leave your job, but you know, in 6 months time, you want to get a job, whether software testing, whether BA, maybe you even want to try development, whatever. We'll talk through everything and we'll walk you through. So yeah, so that's just, and I just felt like, okay, maybe somebody might be out there listening and they're like, okay, I want to do IT, I don't know what to do, but I'm really interested. So yeah, so we'll give you some very good discount off. So if anybody is interested, please feel free to chat on Amma. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ayo. So if you're a lady, just give a shout to to Olana, and Olana will see how you get the code. 70% off for ladies that want to get
7%.
70%. 70%. Because of our time, can we quickly go to the innovation corner? Um, I guess Sir Kofi, help us to check whether you are streaming the one online so that we can get that done. But Olana, if you have the updated one, you can share your screen. We can You can share your screen and we can go from your side.
All right, just give me 1 minute to bring that up.
Okay. So Sakofi, we come back to you once we are done with innovation corner. Then we can meet our mentor. Share,
Please pardon me. I'm going to share my screen shortly.
yeah. Share with your sound, please.
Oh, yes.
Good.
Oh, gee, I'm not sure I can do that. Oh, I'm not. Let me see. Video.
Once you share your screen, it allows you with the audio.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure I can share my screen. So I'm not
Okay.
seeing the option to do that. Yeah.
So, Sir Kofi, can we run it from the share folder for the innovation corner so that we can bring up the guests? I can as well try to do it from my side here, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I've been looking for it, but I can't find the folder. So I'm actually using the one you shared directly with me.
Okay. Okay. Let me just share it
So,
from
but
here.
I think that should work for the innovation corner. Do we not have the same content?
Uh, I'm not sure. Can you go to the
Oh, okay,
innovation
okay.
corner,
One
Sir
second.
Sir Kofi? Let's see what we have there.
No, I think it's different. We have the big story here on mine. That's the updated copy.
Uh,
Yeah, 1 second. Let me see.
should I share from my side?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, share from your side.
Okay. I'll be running it from. Can you guys see this? Okay. So we have a very wonderful person that we're going to talk about in this corner. This innovation corner is just a time out for us to see what people are doing practically and how they are making effect in the community. And today we are looking at someone that is bringing technology to a rural area in Oyo State. Oyo State is one of the states in the western side of Nigeria, and the particular area is actually about 1.3 million residents as of 2002. Just what this is a caption from a TV station locally, and this is what they are talking about them. Then we bring Babatunde in.
Oyo State in southwest Nigeria has 33 local government areas. Now, of these 33, 10 of them make up an area called Okeogun in the state. This is our focus on this episode of this program. Let's look at life in Okeogun in Oyo State, Nigeria. You're welcome. I'm Amy John Lekwa.
Now, this is just to give you a picture of where this particular location is in the country, and we're going to bring one of our community members
With an estimate.
who has been doing a lot of things in bringing about change here, and the person is his name is Babatunde. He actually is a software developer, and his mission was to bring technology to the rural area, and that is what is called vision for the grassroots is. He is a certified data analyst. He's a developer. He currently work in Lagos, but every time he goes to Okeogun in Shaki in Oyo State. Now, his vision is to raise future that can be better for each community, especially knowing that they are from the rural area. Sorry that the video was cracking, but the video can show you the level of development that is there. And Babatunde has been able to bring technology down there, especially from the Microsoft front, in order to empower people, encourage people, and give them the sense of direction when it comes to their career. Now we bring Babatunde in. Babatunde, are you there?
Hi, Shay. Good evening.
Hi, Babatunde. Yeah. Welcome to the stage. And currently, I know you are doing a lot of things in your state, and the picture I'm sharing also showed what you have done from 2009 to the current one, where you are bringing people to come and learn, especially building the capacity of IT in your state. Can you just share your vision and what you want to achieve?
Okay, thank you so much. I'm emotional right now with your introduction. So I'm so happy, I've been doing so far in our area. It's a good idea. Not only me, I have a colleague. I have not even one or two. We are many in the group, but just that I've been representing them anywhere I found myself. So we are working together to make sure that not every time you need technology, you have to go back to Lagos. Not every time you need technology, you have to refer people from Port Harcourt or Abuja or different environment where we know that it is a urban area, so in the country. So we try our best to feel like, okay, let's let's take technology to the rural area, whereby at any time when we need at least to do something within our environment, we don't need to go back in one way or the other. So that was the uh, reason behind the innovation. So we started 2018 gathering people, train them, especially on Microsoft platform. We know that's what we are familiar with. Most of us we use Office 2003, Office 2007, and so most of us we use MS Word day in day out to do most of our things. So we try to train them on Microsoft package, try with data analytics, and thank God today we have some of our guys as software engineer, and we also have data scientists and data analysts among us. So and also mentor certified, and also we also have a software developer in our midst. We have social media manager, digital marketer, and so on like that. And most of them, they are currently working in tech firm, which always make me happy. And seeing them also encourage me to do more. And also we always kind of telling them to also impart into the community, not only you. It's only like Samuel said earlier, like anytime you know something, you have to let your people know that, okay, I know how to do this. Let's use this to solve problems in our environment. That's what we have been doing. And that's the reason why this year now we are planning to bring in our government to realize what we have been doing so far, because at least we have what to refer to as of today, so that they can also tap from the knowledge people have gained from this platform, and also to make use of this opportunity to solve some problem within our area. And that's quite it's tasky for us. Like most of us, we are busy. We also look for what we are going to make a living, and also we are trying our best to get in touch with the government too. And that's what you have been doing so far. And I'm really happy for the opportunity that Sheyi is giving us today to speak with the audience and also to let the whole world know what you have been doing. Thank you, Sheyi.
Thank you, Babatunde. It's really encouraging and inspiring that you are doing a great work there, especially to encourage people. I can see from your picture several people there, male, female. All your target is to make sure your community have the empowerment necessary to make a change for themselves. So I'm encouraging you down there, whether you are hearing us from a rural area and you want to do something impactful, just as Bernard said, and every other speaker, there is no entry point to this. All you need to do is to rise up to the occasion and make sure that you want to make an impact and make a change for your environment. So I will go over back to Sir Kofi for the mentor video. Then we bring our guests back for the final final word. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Kofi, for that run through various mentor. Now, the essence of this is to know that you have a very rich community with very technical, inspired people across the continent, especially for us in the West African region. So you can contact any of them. You can talk to them as we roll out those information. Um, all we want you is to get information about them. You want them to mentor you. You want them to talk to. You want to talk to them. Just reach out to them, or you can reach out to us, whether it's the host, Olana, and Sir Kofi. Sir Kofi will share his information on the platform now, or David from the UK. Just any one of us, and you want to get in contact with these mentors, we will connect you with them. Olana, I think you are muted.
Yes, yes. Great. Thank you so much, Say, for that information. I'm sure everybody would rush to contact their mentors and who they want, to mentor them in this tech journey. So we have one last question for our guests. I don't know who David is going to push forward first. David, I'm going to leave that to you, but I'll go ahead with the question. So you can just throw our guest into it one after the other. So would you do anything differently if given the opportunity? So would you do anything differently in tech? That is one. Or would you even, I do not wish for this to happen, would you rather choose a different career path for yourself? But what would you do differently if given the opportunity?
Well, definitely do something different. I would wish I had a computer earlier. And then, of course, I didn't have it for almost 20 years of my life. So if I had a computer earlier, I would probably start playing with a computer early, stay curious, solve problems, okay, be more engaging. I think these are the key words that we've mentioned here today. IT is for everybody. And if there's anything I could do differently, I would go back in time and then probably have access to the tools that I have down earlier. But I'm so happy with what, by God's grace, I have achieved so far. That is to encourage everybody here. Thank you.
All right, so it's great to know that you still be in tech, but you probably want to start a little earlier. So thank you so much for that.
Early, yes, early.
Sam, I see you excited. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Would I do anything different? First of all, I would still want to be in tech. No two ways about that. Um, but yes, I think I would have. I will put myself out there much earlier. Because I realized that in as much as I was letting people know what I was doing, it was just within a closed niche, and then there wasn't the opportunity to explore, to connect with more people. But starting community back in the US, I realized how, important it was once you came out, like once you shared on a bigger scale, you connected with more people, you network with more people, and that help you to pretty much spread the word, and you get the information out. So I think that is one thing I'll do differently, would be to come out more, and then also to take more risk. Yeah, there are certain things that I was like, I didn't take a lot more risk, and I want to do this. I'm not sure people will receive it well, but yeah. So this will be the two things. I'll come out early and take more risk, but I'll still be in tech.
All right, thank you, thank you. So this is one thing from both our speakers that have gone ahead to answer this question. Coming out early, right? Bernard pointed at this. He would have started early. You say you would have put yourself out there earlier than you did. In the community, let people around you know what you do on time. As early as you get the skill, right? You let people out there, let your community know that you have the skill and this is what you can do to solve whatever. This is a solution to solve whatever problem that they are facing, and also I think our last session we had Laurie say, do not be afraid to ask. I think that is also something that you have pointed out, right? So you shouldn't be afraid to, ask for things so that you're known early, you can achieve more with whatever skill that you have acquired so far. So thank you so much, Samuel and Bernard. So Ayo, do you want to, take this on?
Yeah, absolutely. And Yeah, I think if I were to like done these things differently, I mean, other than like the points that they already raised, I would probably have started planning a long game from the beginning. You know, having like very long plan for IT, right? Because when you come, so when I came into IT, it was more like, okay, this is like the next thing, let's just go do it. But if I was to do that differently, I would plan a long game, you know, a long career, a long strategy that would take me from, you know, wherever I was to like the peak of whatever I could see. So that's one thing that I would have been able to like do differently. The other one is you know, I wished I also had like learned earlier. You know, and I used to say this in my training in 2007 when Mark Zuckerberg was building Facebook. I didn't know how to build anything, but I do go to the internet. I go to the cafe, just trying to like understand what's going on. You know, those days when you just open Yahoo Messenger, you know, you just go to, I don't know if you guys will remember Internet Explorer, when you
We
open and then
do,
you
we
wait for,
do.
you check your mail in 1 hour. So
Mhm.
Mark was probably somewhere in the US, already learned PHP, right? So before I would know what PHP is, it's already done with the platform.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
if I had that advantage, you know, and that's what I advocate today for parents, right? Give these children adequate exposure to technology. It wasn't like I didn't know the computer. I knew computer existed. I knew internet existed, but there's a certain level of knowledge that you need to have for you to now start thinking, all right, what can we build? You know, what can we do? But I didn't have that level of knowledge. I just wanted to go to the internet just to go there. Like I would go there, send a mail to my friend. We met in school on Friday, and I go to cafe on Saturday, just type an email. Just the joy of I'm sending an email, not knowing that there was a lot more behind the scene that was going on in different
Yeah.
parts of the world. So 2007, 2008, then Facebook launched, oh, and then YouTube, and then Twitter, and then everything. And they were like, oh, this is good. But when in retrospect, I asked myself, if I knew a lot more then, maybe I would have asked the same questions that these guys were asking that led them to build, you know, all this massive platform. So, I mean, that's one thing I would have done, but it's not late. You know, that's a good thing. Africa is still very virgin. There's still a lot, tons of problem to solve, right? So, yeah, that would be like my approach. But like I said, it's not too late.
Oh, and before you
So it's
run
good to
away,
know that it's not late.
Lena, before you run away,
Please come in.
I think we would be doing more of this earlier, and it's just to add to his point because um I'll give you an example in 2018, when I was living in the state I made sure that I was in Ghana every year, and anytime I came I would organize a workshop on tech I've seen in the US that I feel people here should
Mm,
know. And we did the first Amazon Alexa skills challenge, actually skills training. Then Alexa had coming, Amazon Alexa had coming. You could write skills for it to do different things. And I thought that, wait a minute, I've had an exposure in the US. All right, wouldn't it be awesome if we exposed our local developers and young ones here to the fact that, hey, there's something called Alexa as a digital assistant. You can write your skills for it to do A, B, C, and D. And trust you me, we put out like a flyer like in 2 weeks to the event. We had over 200 people from Nigeria, from South Africa, and all that. Story is that if there is more of this, and especially for those of us or those of you, still out there in the state, or in Obodo Ibo, or however you call it in your native language, if you are able to expose our local engineers and local folks who have not had experience or exposure to go out there, or even to connect to the internet to see what's happening, right? The more you expose them to these new technologies and tools,
mhm,
you open up their minds to be innovative. I'll give you an example. The kids in my village and in other rural Africa don't even know what a HoloLens is. Don't even know what a digital assistant is. All right, don't even know what a 3D printer is. How do we expect them to innovate and to think that I can build solutions on an on a mixed reality platform, or I can build a solution that does A, B, C, and D, when they don't even know that technology exists? So there needs to be more. So one thing I'll do differently, some of these things I'll start earlier, and not to wait for, let me wait till I get this, let me wait till I get this. Whatever I have now, I will start with it so that we can reach a lot more people.
And finally, I like to add to that point as well. So right now, I teach kids how to code. I teach 8-year-old students. I teach them Python. You know why? There's something it does to their mind. And when I'm done with like the session with them, takes about 2 months. We have a demo day, and then they come in to display their projects. And sometimes I'm like, I wish, somebody taught me this at this age, because the kind of things they come up with is absolutely amazing. Some of the parents will call me back and say, "Oh, thank you so much. This boy has just been amazing. If you see the things he's showing." So my point is, and back to what you said, we do more of this, we get people more exposure, because exposure is very important. What you've never seen before, you've never seen an HoloLens, you cannot innovate around it. You've
No.
never even heard of mixed reality. You know, it's until when Facebook announced metaverse that people now say, okay, what is metaverse? That's when everybody started Googling and says, oh, what is metaverse? And then people now say, oh, so you can apply for a job in virtual reality and be working as a software engineer in virtual reality, and they pay you in virtual coins, and you can spend it to buy virtual clothes. It's just, and there's going to be a lot of innovation around that too. So back to my point, exposure. The earlier we can give this, and I'm doing this like my children, I'm going to give them the best they can, and every other kid that come around, just expose people, because they can go a long way. Exposure can really go like a long way. So thank you very much,
Thank
Lama.
you. So I think then we have to commend Afis for what he's like doing in the rural areas right now, because he's really doing a lot. And all of what we have spoken to right now, all of the things I've speak to is what Afis is trying to make sure that he gets done, so that even those in rural areas can contribute to what technology has to offer. So thank you so much. Shout out to Afis and your team for what you guys are doing out there. So can we hear you now? Please go ahead. I can see you're listening in and you also have a lot to say to us. Oladimeji.
Oh, great, great. Okay. Um, assuming, I'm just assuming that chance to have known what real IT is before now. Or let me even say, perhaps I'm not coming in the way of IT. Let me put it that way. Take everything within me out. Take everything that I have within my reach. Take them away. Put me in a desert. After 3 months, come and see the empire that we have there. It's just like that. To me, I can't say that yes, I start late though, but I discovered that I was a bit restrict from some information that will have make me to be on higher level before now. It will have moved me to higher level that by now I will have ascertained some levels before now. In England, I discovered that it's not the way we take IT in Nigeria. It's totally different with the way we take IT. It's totally different from each other. Right from their, let me say, from their basic level, they have what we call real IT. Let me put it that way. Sorry, please. We have what we call real IT based on the fact that they grew with it. So by the time they get to a level of college or university, the way they speak is different, completely different. I mean, different. It's a big challenging for we that we are coming like from Africa to comprehend or to come into their knowledge. Yes, we are doing the same thing in a different way. The way they do their research, is bringing us like, Like they expect you to know it. Like I don't like, please, I don't know this. They're like, excuse you. So assuming I know this before now, no, seriously, I don't have to. I will have been to some, you know, a lot of innovation, a lot of ideas that is in Africa that, and things are just taking it down because they didn't have access to this information. Yes, you can get information from online, but if you don't have this mentorship of a thing to key you in to the right corner, into the right channel, I bet you you'll just be moving within a pit. I'm telling you. So I will say that if I'm not in 90 line, I still have a belief that I'll still come back to it because of the way the world is rotating now. If you're in electrical, you're in a mechanical, you are in medical line, just name it, name that profession today. Today, there is no corner that you are looking at that you are not seeing IT. So I will have find my way into IT in one way or the other. I will have find my way in. So this is, something that will really, really help a nation if everybody is coming up with his own idea, bringing up all the kids that are around them. There is a family, they brought their kids to me one day and they're like, we know you are 90 person. We know that you teach people. But you see this boy, this young your bro, huh? It's not that you are going to teach him alone. Put that your brain inside him. Because you know that even when you speak, you have seen IT as, the way you speak. We have seen it in you, like the way you work is the way of IT. Every of your thing is becoming digital, and you know that's how it should be. So when and within a month, it was a surprise to the parent. Like it was during this COVID-19 of a thing. So the parents were like, "Please, what do you do to our son? The way he talks at home now is totally different. Cartoon of a thing that he watch, he have a specific cartoon that he used to watch. It's just like that." I said, it's the same way that I used to teach other children. It's still the same way. But what I teach them that their teacher or their tutor in the schools are doing is still the same way, but in a real world life. Me practicalizing it, make it real. Practicalizing it, make it real. So that's my take on that.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. And sorry, viewers, this is a special edition. We're going to have another one in December, and we have some very exciting guests. But before we round up for today, we also announced that we're going to have the MCT West African Boot Camp, which is going to take place in November 26th up to November 28th. We have almost 55 sections already approved, 55 speakers ready to roll. They'll give us more of talk and of workshop, and it's going to be virtual. So wherever you are calling in from, you have access to get there, to get into the facility and do that. So that is the link there, mctwestafrica.com. Just click on it. You get to the site, you get to the form, get yourself registered. And the exciting thing is that there is a gift. Immediately you register, you'll be given some swag. The first swag you get is some digital video which talks on Power Automate, some solution on Power Platform, and also Power BI. Then you have another digital artifact which is on Yama, which is sold on Amazon, but we're giving it for free. Then once you come for the event, in the 3 days, you are eligible to go for a raffle that can give you a very mouth-watering gift. Then you also have the privilege to have trainings on some fundamental certification, one on Azure, one on M365, another on Power BI, and the last one on Azure IoT. So please check on that site, make sure you register and be eligible to get all these gifts. And in addition, there's going to be a cloud challenge. And we know every time there's a cloud challenge, there is also the room for a voucher. But I'm not saying anything now. Just get online, register, and you get any other information that will accelerate that particular effect. So, Olana, I don't know whether you have any other thing where we hear the last thing from all our guests.
Okay, thanks, Shay. So we have a few people reaching out for the career development program that AYA is offering. We have a couple of people on the chat. We have a few people that have reached out to me personally. So AYA, you have a ton of people that wants to register for this program. So we're just going to go ahead and we'll share the link. And of course, from our platform, we'll be giving the discount vouchers. So 5 lucky persons who would apply. So thank you so much, guys, for having to inspire a lot of our viewers, because a lot of them now wants to get into tech. They want to start building things. And I really, really do know, I strongly believe that they'll get ahead with this. And of course, we as, Africa general, as a people, we're going to, go ahead and move forward with technology and innovations, of course. So thank you so much to all our special guests speakers today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot think was enough, man.
Thank you, guys. So we see you next month. Also, the December edition will be coming earlier because of the holiday. So we are going to have it earlier than before. So just watch out for the publication on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on WhatsApp. You get the time we're going to have the next. And when you are in that event, there's going to be several announcements, and we might roll that into to know when we are going to have the special edition for December.
Awesome. Cheers.
All right. Cheers, everyone. Thank you, Sam. Bye, Ayo.